I think it's safe to say that everyone knows or has a generally good idea of what an entrepreneur is. They're the ones that don't necessarily work for a company, they typically work for themselves, carving out their own path for success in whatever business venture they are passionate about. This is what the media loves to glamorize when you hear tales of success from people like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. But what you don't hear are the overwhelming numbers of entrepreneurial ventures that are not so successful. This is what we call survivorship bias, and being an entrepreneur is fraught with tremendous risk. What if I told you you can pursue interesting projects and ventures in an entrepreneurial way and still see good rewards, but without all the risk? In this video, I'm going to introduce to you the concept of being an intrapreneur. So stay tuned. Hey folks, Richard Walls here, and welcome to my channel where I help you with career development and personal finance. So if either of those two topics are of interest to you, do consider subscribing down below and hitting the notification bell so you get notified of when I post new content. So with that said, let's get to it. Now, before I talk about intrapreneurship, I want to go back for a moment to entrepreneurship. If you're an entrepreneur, you're effectively starting your own venture or you're starting your own business. It could be something as simple as a solo venture that produces an income for yourself and your family, or it could turn into a larger business where as you start expanding, you begin to hire more people. And the rate of success for any new business, when we look at the medium term, so around 5 years, is about half of the businesses are still operating, so the other half fail. So while the potential reward is great, it's also a very risky proposition. Not to mention, it takes a ton of work, probably more work than you could imagine doing at any full-time job. And don't get me wrong, if you find something that you are truly passionate about and you're willing to learn and put all of your effort into it regardless of the risk, then certainly go do that thing. Go try it because you don't want to have any regrets. But I will stress, you really need to care about your mission. What is your goal and what's the value you're trying to add to the world? Because if your mission is not strong, if you're not connected to it, if you're not passionate about it, then when times get tough, you're more likely to quit. So having that connection, having that passion will allow you to push through some of those obstacles. But here's the thing though, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to be successful, to feel fulfilled, or to be happy. And you don't have to take the kind of real risks that entrepreneurs take. What you can be instead is what's called an intrapreneur. Now, an intrapreneur can be defined as someone who acts like an entrepreneur, but within an organization or within a company. Now, I'll do a future video comparing and contrasting the differences between entrepreneur and intrapreneur. And if you'd like to see that video, make sure to like this video and leave a comment down below on what you think the similarities or differences are. So now that you know what an intrapreneur is, why should you care to be one? Main reason is because the entrepreneurial mindset can help you accelerate your career growth. And maybe you like the idea of being an entrepreneur, but maybe you just haven't found that idea that you're passionate enough about to go out on your own and pursue, which is okay. But the good news is you can take that mentality and bring it to the organization that you're in. And as an intrapreneur, you can bring ideas and innovation and actions towards a certain goal. This generally means going above and beyond what your normal job description entails, and you find a way to make what you do substantially better, or you find other parts of the organization where there might be challenges, and those challenges are something you can improve upon. And you can do all this within the relative comfort of not having to worry about not having an income or risking your personal wealth to do so as an entrepreneur would do. And as an entrepreneur, if you find success with the initiatives that you're able to drive, not only will you have that to talk about in future interviews, but you'll have also made a lot of new connections along the way. In order to pursue some of the more entrepreneurial ideas within an organization, that requires you to build your network, and that also requires you to build strong relationships with other people and other teams. And to all the people that you network with and the organizations that you're trying to impact, the ultimate goal here is that you're going to add value, which is what an entrepreneur would do in an outside setting. But you're going to do that here in an organization. Now, put a little bit differently, an entrepreneur succeeds when they're able to create value in the world, which means that they're creating products or services that people find enough value in to be willing to pay for. In the case of an entrepreneur, the reward is not so much a transaction that happens between your goods, services, and someone else's money, but you do get the reward of learning and driving success, building a network, and also crafting and building your brand, such that when future opportunities for advancement become available, you will have an advantage that you didn't have before. It is exactly that kind of mindset that has allowed me to progress fairly quickly in my organization and move my career forward in a relatively short period of time. And taking the intrapreneurial route can do the same for you. With that said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around.